Beautiful. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here with you again, Zoe. At the beginning of 2025,
Yes.
and we've been coming up with a theme that feels like really important for us to be tuning into. So this will be uh, a activated by the Cancer full moon coming up on January 13th, but that it's illuminating the how we're living inside ourselves, how we're feeling safe, how we're feeling supported, and how we can actively engage that process for ourselves within ourselves. And this full moon is out of bounds, so it's outside the boundaries of what we think it's supposed to be. So we can create it anew.
Mhm.
We can create it in a new way that really works for us. It's also occulting the star Elnath prior to the exact full moon, and then it's going to occult Mars right afterwards. Mars is all about taking action. So, what are the actions we're going to take? And it's Mars is in Cancer right now, retrograded back into Cancer. It's going to be opposite the Sun on January 15th, and um, and then the moon occults or covers, and
Oh.
then uncovers
Mm.
either the star or the planet, so that an occultation is like an eclipse. It's actually amplifying and energizing the energy. So what we're putting into place with our intention and attention right now will last throughout 2025. So exciting. So
Very.
with that and how just kind of giving you the basis of what's happening here so that what Zoe's going to read on with the cards is for the whole entire year 2025 with this idea that we're coming into this energy of the Cancer full moon with all these big activations that are happening. Also, just one more thing to mention, and that is that the North Node will reach zero Aries on January 11th, depending on when you've seen this. So it might have already done that. Then it moves back into Pisces. That marks the center point of the 19-year lunar standstill. And that is why the Cancer full moon in January is so far out of bounds. It's probably one of the most out of bounds moons
Nice.
that we can have at the center point of the 19-year lunar standstill, which actually happens for a couple of years on either side of the center point, with the most extreme out of bounds happening around the center point. So that means that we are way outside the boundaries of our everyday reality, of what we
Mm.
consider our everyday reality. So we can create, we can co-create with great mystery how we want to feel safe inside ourselves, in our world, and how we're creating that sense of being supported and safe in all aspects of our being, and where we might, where we might be at home in a home, or where we might be at home where we're staying. Because I know, Zoe, you're staying in a place for for a few months, that's not your home, but it's now your home because you're there.
Yes.
So we're talking about all different kinds of home here. So thank
Yeah.
you for being here, and thank you for what you're going to share with us.
Yeah. So I have a question about because now I'm remembering on TikTok, I did see a flurry of videos, but I didn't really pay too much attention to them about January 11th being this great awakening. And so, but I didn't really know why that was.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you. I think there's something else happening. I just need to double check
Okay.
uh, that as well, because January 11, um, there is, oh, that's the occultation of the moon over Elnath, I think, that's when that is happening.
Okay.
So that happened at the full moon in Gemini, where there was that occultation over that star, and that star points to the center, to the edge of the galaxy, and also in mythic lore was considered the two stars of the horns of the bull, Elnath and Alheka, and Elnath's the one being occulted. They point to heaven on earth, or the Elysian fields as another way that that was spoken into. And there's a series of occultations happening that started in September of 2023 and goes until August of 2027. There's 49 occultations over that star. And this one happens to be very close to the Cancer full moon. Last month it was exact with the Gemini full moon.
Hmm.
It's because the moon is so far out of bounds that these occultations can take place. So there's something big that's brewing as a result
Hmm.
of the moon activating these stars. And how are we creating heaven on earth? How are we co-creating that? How are we creating a place that we can feel more at home, more alive, more energized within ourselves and the world around us? And so these occultations are quite amazing. So that's also happening on January 11th with the nodes reaching the center point of the lunar standstill, which is the reason why these occultations are even happening.
Mm.
So the
Okay.
fact that they're happening together, the occultation is happening at the same time the node reaches that point, that is that is just like that can only happen, I don't know, uh, maybe every few hundred years or 1,000 years or something. It's like
Really? So the
rare,
other
rare.
49 that are happening, where can we find that information? Like where they're happening and how they're happening? Do you?
You can go to you could just Google moon occultations over Elnath
Okay.
and probably find it that way.
Okay.
And if I think about it, I'll make myself a note. If I think about it, I can maybe put in a link in the show notes for
Yeah.
people to go to
Yeah.
find.
Because that could be interesting as we talk about ritual for folks to, this is your invitation to be in ritual all year. And perhaps you could form rituals around to really help to bring heaven on earth. I had no idea about this. This is great for us to harness this
So
energy.
exciting. Now, so thing to know is that it's not always going to be near a full moon.
Right.
That it'll be sometimes near a quarter moon or
Yeah.
a full moon, or because the moon phases are changing
Yes.
every 29 and a half days to come back to the same phase, but
Mhm.
only 27.3 days to come back to the same star. So it's
Mhm.
not in the same phase. Hence
Mhm.
why last month in December of 2024, there was an occultation over Elnath at the full moon.
Yeah.
And this month it's happening prior to
Yes.
the
Yeah.
because it's only 27.3 days later that it's going to be with that star again.
Yeah.
So pretty exciting. Yeah.
Very, for those of us who work with different phases of the moon, we could craft our rituals around it. So
Yep. Yep.
exciting. Okay, good. Good news. All right. So, we're talking about home, right? We're talking about home, and I was sharing with Cayelin my old last year's email signature was from Glinda the Good Witch and from the movie The Wiz. And there's a song, When I Think of Home, and one of the things she says to Dorothy is, um, home, you're never far from home if you know who you are, if you know your own strength, you're always at home. So and we know that home can be fraught. People have feelings about home. And so I guess I'll start with the homework and not even the reading yet. So one of the things that we thought would be great as a ritual, since full moons are about release, and we have this occultation happening around the full moon, that it could be a good time to do a releasing ritual around outdated visions, memories, beliefs around home, what home is, because, lots of us come from homes that were challenging, right? We can recreate that. We can recreate a new vision of home for ourselves where we feel safe, where we feel protected, guided, supported, to use Kaylin's words, all of those things, right? So now is the time, the beginning of the year, to create a new vision of home for ourselves individually and then for the collective. And then I'll give you some rituals at the end that I used. So let's start with this protected for the year 2025. What can help to hmm, help us actually not just feel protected, but to actually bring in the energy of protection? What is the message for the collective? The cat is all over the place. Protection. Thank you. Oh, this is interesting. This card keeps wanting to show up.
New
Hello, new
moon.
moon. kept wanting to show up. So here we are. Perhaps the next new moon. I'm not sure when that is.
At the end of January, so around the 29th, I think. I'll look it
Okay.
up.
I don't have it in
I think
mind.
it's the 29th, but I'm not 100% sure.
Okay. The Lunar New Year.
It is the 29th. Yes, it's an
And
Aquarius full moon. A new moon. I'm sorry, Aquarius new moon.
got an Aquarius new moon, and that is also the Lunar New Year.
Yes.
So
Or
another
the Chinese New Year of the snake.
shedding. I can't with you, Caitlin. I can't. It's too much. It's too much. So, okay, so we've got this full moon happening. So that's our time of release, right? Well, when we come to, that's our ritual. So when we come to this new moon, this time of the snake, this time of shedding the old, this is when we create our new visions of home. Okay, so we are releasing old visions of home on the full moon, and then on the new moon, we are doing rituals around new visions of home.
And if we think about Aquarius, it's the perfect, all about being visionary, being
Yeah.
on the cutting edge of new visions, ideas, new ways of doing things. And so it's the perfect time to be creating a new vision around home and how we are living inside ourselves, how we're living at home within ourselves, living in our home, whatever that might look like. Oh my
Mhm.
God, it's so beautiful.
It's too much. It's too much. So, so this could mean, I know folks like to do their vision boards in the beginning of the year, the end of the year. It's still technically the beginning of the year. If you haven't done your vision board yet or your mood board for 2025, perhaps that is a good activity for the 29th. And that is also a Wednesday. So, of course, that resonates as today. It resonates to the planet Mercury, which is all about communication. It's all about writing, publishing, all of those things, that mercurial energy. So, writing out a new vision, doing that very sort of, again, crafty vision board of what you want home to be. Don't be afraid to shed the old.
You're reminding me, Zoe, that I did a vision board when I was wanting to move from one place to another.
Mm-hmm.
And on the vision board, I put a home, just
Mm-hmm.
magazine, put a
Yeah.
home. And then I said, how is it that I'm at home within myself? Or where is it that I am at home within myself? Where is my home inside myself was what I was asking. And then we wound up getting this beautiful home sometime later
Mm-hmm.
that was that where I feel so at home inside myself. So that question, asking that question, so you craft a question that really works for you.
Yeah.
And of course, the home that we got didn't look like the one I put on the vision board,
Yeah.
but it's a beautiful home. So
Yeah.
really grateful.
And that was for our first sort of conversation starter around protection. So that question that you're crafting has to do with where do I would say for the full moon, where do I not feel protected that you want to release? And then for that new moon, what will it take for me to feel protected? Where do I feel protected, right? To work with that energy. Guidance. So we're moving into guidance. And I'm using the Ancestor Spirit Oracle deck, which I have not used in forever, to get some ancestral guidance here. Oh, wow.
That card wanted to pop out.
It so wanted to pop out again on this thing of home, moving your body,
Ah,
dancing, dancing, breathing, and flow.
beautiful.
This feels to me like the guidance here, the ancestor guidance to move the body when we don't feel protected, when we are in that fear spiral, we can close up. And what I'm getting here is the opening, going with the flow, taking time to breathe. Cayelin and I were also talking about disrupting programming. So that's the other guidance for this time. If you feel yourself going into a fear spiral, if you feel yourself going into a judgment spiral, understand that that is the programming. That is like the water that we've all been swimming in. And so, what we're being guided to do here is to dance, to breathe, to go with the flow, to disrupt that programming. And right
Yes,
under that, we have be thankful.
beautiful.
Never too late for a gratitude journal. So that's our ancestor guidance. And then,
And express gratitude every day and be grateful for if you're not living in a home that you really love, Start being grateful for the home that you get to live in a home that you really love. Advanced gratitude because it works. I'm telling you, it works in such amazing ways. Just be grateful for it as if you already have it. And or if you're in a home you already love, that you can give gratitude for the home that you love, that you're being in, that you get to be in, and that it's there to support you and protect you and guide you and be there for you, and that you get to be who you are as a result of being in a home that you love.
Yes, and I will try to quickly share this story. So when I lived in Atlanta, I had a house. It would not sell. It sat on the market for a year. People would, 2 weeks up to closing, people would say, nope, we don't want it anymore. It was a very hard, stressful time. So in my meditation, Spirit said, do something different. I was really into Abraham Hicks at that time. And, they talked about scripting and how you want things to happen. And segment intending, where you sort of, again, write down that Mercury energy, how you want things to be, painting the picture whole, right? And so I sat there and I was like, okay, this house is going to be a blessing to somebody else. And that was my meditation. And I would envision people coming into the home and loving it and doing all of these things. And Spirit was like, full disclosure, they were like, once you sell this house, you'll never have financial problems again. Everything around the home is going to open up for you. And I meditated like that for about 2 weeks. And the house did sell and I can't, that's just too long of a story about the miracle of how it actually sold. But once I changed from, oh, this house is such a burden, oh, dreading pulling into the driveway. Like, oh, when I was like, oh, this house is going to be a blessing to somebody else, and actively envisioned that and being thankful and moving.
I'm loving that. And just quick, the way that I've done it when I've been selling a home is I ask the spirits of the land and the home to bring to it the next owner that is aligned with the energy that it most needs to have aligned with it at that time. And that has worked really well. And had a similar situation where a house didn't sell for over a year and
Mhm.
was and finally I started doing that, and that shifted it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So these are all things, and folks who are watching this, you're probably already engaging in ritual, but if you're not, this is your invitation. We've given you like several things that you can do, calling in the spirits of the land, maybe engaging with the land you're on more actively. I manifested an apartment across from a park, so I'm going to be taking my butt over there in the snow and putting some apples down, pouring some honey, again, just in gratitude and just sort of a, hey, I'm here. So just again, this year, we really want to shift this energy in ways that work and support humanity, getting to the word support. So these are like several things that you can, hey, look what's here, focus on.
Oh, love that.
All right.
Is that a tiger or a leopard
I
or
think it's a leopard.
a leopard?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think it's a leopard. Yeah.
Snow leopard kind
The
of, or in
leopard.
a snow leopard. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
beautiful.
Yep. So also on support. So we have two really nice crystals here and a tarot card for the year. Wow, I love this. Okay. So we have Golden Healer.
Ooh.
Um, that is what it looks like. So this actually resonates to Leo and the Sun. And it's about abundance, expansion, and golden rays. And it says universal life force. That's going to be important. Life force flows strongly with the golden healer. With an exceedingly high vibration, golden healer carries bioscalar waves, an abundant form of power which increases in spatial mass. I don't know what that means. This potent energy can expand awareness across multiple dimensions. Now that I understand. So let's go ahead. Let's do that. Let's be expanding awareness across multiple dimensions. makes me think of January 11th, transforming your vibration all the way down to the cells of your body. Connected to the solar plexus, this stone allows the highest form of healing for your identity and self-worth, releasing ancestral trauma that may have affected you, maybe at home, and has been passed down through the family lineage. So, yeah, let's clean that up. Also, we have garnet, which
Ooh,
is about life force as well and intensity. This resonates to the Leo, Virgo, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Mars. So we know we have a lot of things happening with Mars right now. Of course, we already talked about the Aquarius new moon. So this is to help, attract partners, heal sexual trauma. Again, things that happen at home. And it helps you identify and illuminate self-sabotaging behaviors, expanding your connection to mind, body, and experience. So we have two crystals here that will help rejuvenate your life force this year and help expand your mind and the consciousness of the collective. We know we need the whole collective to, we're not just doing this for ourselves. And then we have the Seven of Wands, which is again all about standing your ground, right? This is the vibe of this year to usher in again, hey, another death. So there's that transformation again.
right.
So that's our
Yes,
homework for the year.
because the old has to go before the new can actually happen. So
The old
if you
has
think
to
about
be.
a home, like maybe there's a building where you want to build a home, and that building has to come down before the new home could go up. So that death and rebirth aspect, I
Mhm.
love that. I'm
Yeah,
also loving the multidimensional aspect
me too.
that was being brought in because we
Too.
could imagine that we're creating a safe space within our home, within ourselves, and within our home
Mhm.
that is multidimensional. It's like on all realms and dimensions, not
Yes.
just the one that we see, not just the one that
Yes.
we interact with on a daily basis. But for me, I like to say that I'm safe, supported, accepted, I'm valued. I'm sorry, that wasn't the one I wanted to say.
Okay.
But that's a good one. But that I'm loved, guided, supported, and protected in all realms and dimensions. In
Yes.
my home, within and around me, within and around all that I interact with all of that. So we want to be sure we're including all dimensions, all realms, because we have access to them whether we're aware of it or not.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then we can take that a step further, right? We have the I, and then of course we have the we, right? And so we are connected, da, 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 everything great. Kate, would you mind putting that in the show notes?
The
That
the
your mantra
Yeah,
of
the one about being loved, guided, supported, and protected. Yes,
yeah, across all dimensions, because I love
yes,
that.
yes.
I love that. So for other, just one more, two more quick rituals. I always like to use salt to cleanse the home. So I'll put salt in water, in holy water, put it in the corners to absorb heavy energy. I usually like to do it by the front door or a door that I'm coming in and out of all the time, just to, as people are coming in, as I'm coming in, to just suck that energy. I took a beautiful salt bath this morning. So I know some people can't bathe in salt, but if you can, that's always helpful. And then putting your name in salt to cleanse your name. And I was telling Cayelin, I put a lot of countries in salt water this morning, salt water, holy water, covered it in a jar in black tourmaline with a block of camphor, surrounded it with candles, sprinkled some cinnamon. And that's going to be my focal point going forward for just like many days. I'm going to just sit in front of that jar, that candle, and just meditate on shifting things in certain regions of the world. So that's
Yeah.
another ritual
I
that you.
love that you're doing that. And then I would imagine that when you're done, you take the salt water and give it to the earth,
Yes. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
then the earth can take all that energy and
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And so, yes, I'll take it to, I have to figure out which tree is going to be my favorite tree while I'm here to work with. But it made me feel less powerless, right? Because it's like, okay, what can I do, you know, in my comfortable home to make me feel more connected to the collective. So, yeah.
yeah, I love that because for some it's maybe they want to go out and
Yep.
do something that's more actively out in the world, making a difference
Yes.
change, and that's great. But I
Yeah.
know for me, since I was 19, I went to Marish International University and was doing transcendental meditation with a whole lot of people. And the whole thing was we were bringing on an age of enlightenment based on the fact that we were all meditating together.
Yeah.
And that was how I was being an activist back in the 70s.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
wasn't marching in the street. I was like changing consciousness. That was
Yeah.
my intent. I think everybody needs to do it maybe more than one way, but do it in a way that really feels alive and enlivening for you,
I
uh,
agree.
as a way to like what are we adding into the collective consciousness grid of the planet?
That's right. That's right. I think it's important. And I had shared before too that I was in the streets marching. I don't do that anymore. We all have our role to play. And but now I do a 5:30 prayer call. And that's been really helpful. And here I found a meditation group that I'll be going to, right? So it's all of these different ways to engage with people because I do think that that meditation piece, that collective meditation, that collective whatever prayer, it is important. I felt it this morning. I just was like, this is really real. Like there's a reason why groups of people gather together and put their consciousness together. And so that again is, I guess, another invitation to get out of the house or to get out of your mind, to connect with people, to really shift this thing.
Yes. Because what we're focusing our attention on and our intentions, and where we're focusing our awareness
Hmm.
is what's co-creating our reality, and also how we're feeling. So if we're allowing ourselves to feel really upset and challenged and fearful, and that's the whole, as we were talking earlier, so I love that you brought that up, the whole fear programming that's been done in our culture for such a long time. And so if we're feeling fearful, then we're falling into that trap
Yeah.
of what that's about. And but if we can keep bringing ourselves back, like, okay, yeah, I got a little fearful there, but I keep bringing myself back
Yeah.
to a place of love, a place of peace and calm, and what does it take for me to do that? I
Yeah.
love the dancing piece.
I do too. I do. I mean, yeah, I don't know if I told you I went to a ballet class a couple months ago. So I brought my ballet slippers with me here. So
Oh,
hopefully if
that's
it's
so
not in
good.
French, I can go if it's I gotta find some that are in English. But yeah, that's just another way to move the body, move that trauma out of the body to, or just dance around your house.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, shaking practices and anything that helps you move the energy and it helps you come back into a more peaceful place inside yourself. So
Yeah.
good.
We are
Yeah.
the ones we're looking for.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, we came at this time for a reason. And
We did.
so we can get together and focus on that.
Yeah.
Um, and do it together. And as you're saying, because it amplifies,
That's
so
it.
that whatever two or more are gathered, but it's like more than the power of two. It's the power of many more than two, many more than if you're with a group of 10 or a group of 20 or a group of 100. It's like that just keeps exponentially amplifying the
Yeah.
power.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how we change the world.
That's how we change the world. So I would love to say if you made it this far in the video, maybe there's something you could put in the chat to, let us know. I don't know, to solidify the agreement that we're gonna amplify together.
Yeah, and for me, I feel like it's my theme for 2025 is living in the magic of love.
Oh,
Living in the magic of love, living in the magic of love. So that's what I'm amplifying and energizing. So if anybody wants to use that, there
I
feel
like
free.
that. I like it.
Use that if you, but come up with your own theme. It could just be simply love, the
Yeah.
theme love. It doesn't have to be that
Yeah.
complicated.
Or living or dance or yeah.
Or peace or
Yeah.
plenty or um, being healthy, radiant health. It's like whatever feels like it's the something that'll help focus your attention
Yeah.
on the intention you have for the year.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
I
right.
love it.
All
So
right.
I feel like this is amazing. Thank you, Zoe,
So
for all
good.
that you brought forth for this. And I'm imagining that we'll be getting together again soon.
Hmm?
And so stay tuned and check out the show notes for links to things about Elnath and the little mantra that I shared and anything else. If you have anything, Zoe, send it to me and I'll make sure that gets in there.
Okay, sounds good.
So happy New Year, everyone. And here's to living in a world that we feel safe, we feel supported, we feel accepted, we feel valued, we feel love, we feel joy for
Mm,
2025.
Shay.
Aho.